So is that what you tell Talia?
Yes, that is what I tell Talia.
We should tell. She says, I don't know what that is, but maybe Otto could make some.
Yeah, we can ask him.
If you go and ask Otto, he will excitedly say that he would love to make some gumbo, considering how he gathered a good number of spices the last time you were in Green Galaxy.
Mhm.
So, anyway, you guys have your time on the ship, and you will eventually land on Tuchanka, probably the next morning, I would say.
One thing I am going to ask while that's happening is, so Talia, can you tell what a car is thinking about right now?
Arkara, so out of character, she doesn't know what you're thinking, but she knows what you're sensing. So, or what you're feeling. She can kind of empathically feel how you're feeling. So, can you tell me out of character what you're sensing or feeling at the moment?
Probably curiosity.
Okay, curiosity. Um, she'll tell you she seems curious about something. What are you? Wait, are you in the room, Arkara?
I
Or
guess
is
so.
Arkara in the room when you're asking her this? When you're asking Talia this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Mhm.
What are you
I'm assuming
thinking
we're in the
about?
kitchen.
Mhm.
Okay. She'll ask. The little girl um, will ask you while she's finishing swallowing a spoonful. What are you thinking about?
Well, I was thinking about you, dear.
About me? What
Yes.
about me?
You're a curious little one.
She says, "Is that a good thing?
Yes, it is. You're very special.
What do you want to know? You can ask me."
How do you sense people like that?
She says, "I don't know. I think I remember first being able to do it when I was 4,
It's a very nice ability.
but it wasn't very strong at the time. Sometimes I'd see things. It was a little scary at first because I would see something weird, almost like I was in a dream and not really there. But uh, she says, Grandma and Grandpa helped me figure out what was going on, and they said if I understood it, I wouldn't be scared anymore.
Mm.
Sounds sensible.
She says, "Uh huh. It's really cool. I get to know right away if my grandma and grandpa are about to yell at me, so I try to butter them up."
Atta girl. Smart.
Does that work
Very,
on
very
your mom
right.
too?
She says, "I don't know. I haven't gotten in trouble with mommy yet this trip."
You've been good.
She whispers towards Arkara, "I normally don't do really bad things when she's here."
Well, she's on our seat. Okay.
Talia, do you have any idea what Mr. Anar is thinking about right now?
Mr. Anar, her brow furrows a little bit, and then after a few moments, she goes, "No, he's too far away."
Okay.
He's probably in another universe, and he was too. So
That's really far away.
yeah, probably would be way outside her reach.
I'm just curious as to how it works, really, and what the limits are.
Yeah.
You got a really special girl there, Sisabia.
Thank you, Akara.
Otto sits down next to you and he starts eating as well. And he says curiously, "I wonder how much more powerful she will become when she's older."
And whether we'll all need tinfoil hats.
I don't know.
This would, he says amusingly, she could make a very good spy when she grows up, if she wants to.
Whatever
Hopefully
she
she won't need that.
Yeah. Whatever she decides to do, I think important thing is for her to be knowledgeable and be able to be well equipped with her biotic powers.
Point Otto kind of rubs his chin. He says, actually, she might be very useful in the restaurant when the critics arrive.
See, Talia, you already have a job lined up.
I like how you think, though, Otto.
Otto says, I have a question. Can you make other people see or feel things?
Yes, she can.
Yeah, I've heard of this kind of ability. Some biotics are able to dominate the mind. Are able to kind of basically influence, and a lot of that's kind of, it's only high level biotics that are able to accomplish stuff like that.
Well, when we were back on Invictus, she managed to get me to see what she was seeing. That was a trip. It was really weird.
She says, I can only make people see and feel feel, or hear the things I see, feel, or hear. So if you are eating my food and you really like it, and you're next to a critic who may not like it, you might make them think that they like it.
Also, you could just make the amazing food that everyone loves.
Otto blushes. He says, I don't think I'm that good of a cook.
Oh, but you are. Take it from us.
He says.
And Akara wouldn't lie to you, right?
Oh, hell yes.
That was genuine. What are you talking about?
Otto says, I don't think Arkara would lie to me. Not about my food.
No.
See?
I wouldn't, actually.
No.
That's what I said.
Otto asks Talia, can you tell if someone is lying or not? Talia says, sometimes. If I feel them when they're lying, they feel hotter. Sometimes. So I guess what she's trying to say is she can't tell for sure, but based on how they feel, it might imply that they might be lying, is what she's trying to say. It's not like
Depends
she can
how good-
outright how good of a liar they are. She might not know. She might not be able to tell, depending how good of a liar they are.
Do you have to know the person?
Talia says, yeah, I do. She says, and Otto says, that makes sense. I suppose empathic powers require you to have a bond with a person, or at least know them. It's stronger she says, I think if I know you more, the stronger it is.
That makes sense.
She continues eating from her bowl. Does anybody else want to ask Talia any questions? Otherwise, okay. To know more about Talia, tune in to Mass Effect Season 2. Anyway. Anyway.
Yes, I'm kind of glad we didn't get her killed now.
Yes, because I was kind of hoping that she would make a very interesting character in Season 2. Yeah. So anyway, you guys arrive in Tuchanka finally. Now, did you want Sync to land you guys by the village or by the facility? Because those are two separate places.
Akara?
Our main mission was with the facility, I guess.
Okay. Okay. So you can go there. It doesn't mean you can't go to both.
Yeah.
But this is where do we land? So.
Yeah, I'm thinking we land by the facility and make sure we fix that up first.
Sure.
Okay. So you see the same Solarian scientists as before. Paddock Wicks is going to be... you'll probably see him on the floor talking to several of the other Solarians as they're checking some of the records. The capsules that contained all of the Krogan, all of the female Krogans, are now empty. They have been flushed out. It doesn't look like they've destroyed them. It looks like they're trying to repurpose them for a different use instead of what they were used for before.
Book Chen's not around?
Book Chen doesn't seem to be there on the floor, at least.
Cool.
Probably a good thing.
Anyone
he's
else want
here.
to talk to him first, or should I?
You're the one with the sample.
Yes, that's true. Although, if you guys let me lead, I'm probably going to start off with something completely different.
I think
So,
our card
friends.
trusts. I think our card trusts Elias to do the talking by now.
Okay.
Okay.
So, friends of the galaxy, do you really not have any better assassins than a Volus with a sniper rifle?
Are you asking Paddock that specifically, or just some of the random
Absolutely.
scientists?
I'm asking Paddock specifically.
Paddock looks up and he gives you a smile at first, but then when you ask about the assassin, he sort of tilts his head as if he has no idea what you're talking about and says, "Assassin? Volus assassin?"
Friends of the galaxy, concert on Dekunna.
He
Bring the Rachni.
He says, it must Rachni, that must be a totally different branch. He says, I'm afraid I don't really know anything about Rachni and Volus assassins, he says.
They probably work similar to what Cerberus used to work, different branches.
May I ask, what is it about the Rachni?
Oh, they were pumping out a drug out of Rachni. So something for to induce what's that word again? I can't remember the medical term anymore. Synesthesia, I think it's called.
They were pumping things out of Rachni for commercial use? Huh.
Yeah.
Well, that does sound something that the Friends of the Galaxy would get involved with, now that you mention it. He says, we don't particularly like seeing creatures abused in that way, unless they ask to be for their overall benefit. He says, sort of like nodding towards the cells or the pods.
So
Of
how
course, we addressed that whole thing.
Yeah, so how are the Friends of the Galaxy organized anyway? It seems if you don't have that sort of hierarchical command structure.
He says, to be quite honest, we're separated into different divisions. Each division has their own specific quest. But our main creed overall is to try to seek out ways to better all of the alien species. In particularly, we don't focus as much on human species because I think Cerberus has done a very good job of that as it is. So we have a slight leniency towards non-human species, but we also help everyone as much as we can.
Even to the point of hiring assassins?
Think of them. He says, while I would like to pretend that such extreme cases don't exist in the company, between you and me, the Friends of the Galaxy feel that in order to make change happen, sometimes some of the more shadier things need to happen. Think of them like specters, I guess, or the left hand of the Friends of the Galaxy, I suppose. To extend in and do the dirty work that must be done for the good of the galaxy, I guess.
So it sounds like the Friends of the Galaxy are kind of self-governed. With Spectres, they're kind of more or less report to the council.
Yes, they're not exactly like specters. It was just the
Quite
best example that I
obviously.
could.
Right.
It was the best example that I could give.
Well,
Can't
you
get-
might want to report up the command line that there are probably better ways to get things done than shooting figureheads.
You seem to know what you're talking about. Have you ever considered a
No.
change in occupation, Mr. Elias?
You can't afford my rates, I say, but holding it, and I take out 2 vials and drop them into his hand.
Is this what I think it is?
If you think that is genophage-free Krogan DNA, then yes. Yes, it is.
Oh, his expression completely changes.
You
This is
will have to work around the fact that that's not completely organic DNA, but I think you should be able to work it out.
at the very least it should help us make a giant leap towards the right direction. Oh, goodness. Mr. Elias, thank you, sir.
Oh, and I'm going to pull out the whatever files the Reapers or were shared about the actual genophage cure, if any, because we sort of know that Morden had them. If there are any research surviving, I will pass those files over as well.
So you pass on information. The scientists overall are just overwhelmed at the generosity. And Paddock will say, I'm sure all of the Krogan will be extremely grateful for this, Mr. Elias. You, sir, are making history today.
Well, you know, I guess that's what we do, make history.
I suppose, he says, we should come up with a reasonable sum to pay you for all of this. And he pulls out his pad to try to come up with an amount, I suppose.
You can settle that. You can settle that up with the chief, I say, pointing to Arkara.
Oh, yes, of course.
Sorry, I just dropped you in that. I don't need the money.
That's fine. I think
If
we
nothing-
can get.
I was going to say, if nothing else, you might want to negotiate terms of actually distributing all of this to the Krogan, as well as making sure that this particular cure is not commercially owned by anyone.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same.
He says, Miss Arkara, he says, between you and me, if I can speak frankly, I completely agree with you. Mr. Chen, however, when he finds out that we actually have a working cure, not that we have it yet, we have to make sure we run proper tests on it. But if we were to succeed in having a cure, I'm sure Mr. Chen is going to want to make sure that this excursion is as lucrative as possible.
Well, that's not going to be possible under the terms of the contract now, is it?
Yes. As long as the contract specifically states that that was not part of the arrangement, I think that the higher-ups over at the FOTG is just going to have to accept it. I'm sure many of them are going to argue that this money could have been used to fund other divisions to help other races overall, but I don't think we're in a position to argue.
Given that it's not costing you anything to procure this information.
As I said, Mr. Elias, you're far more of a businessman than I am. I'm just a scientist. I definitely think that if someone of your caliber were actually in the leadership of the FOTG, maybe we'd be a lot more successful at living up to our creed.
Well, unfortunately, I'm in the wrong galaxy. And you definitely don't want to get involved with the analog of me here. If nothing else, you'll have to raid through lots of prison guards to find him.
Oh, I was about to suggest maybe speaking with the Elias over here. One of
No.
the Solarians starts laughing. Paddock, have you not seen the news? And then he pulls up his hollow, his a hollow that shows there's already been people who have not only recorded Red Elias's reaction to the concert, but they've made remixes of it.
Of course they have.
I think there's now
Nice.
there's now a song that's like
Yep.
similar to hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your
Yep.
and like there's a song now.
Awesome. After that's finished, yeah.
Paddock
Go on.
says, I must have been knee deep in my research for way too long. I totally missed that this was even a thing. Oh, it's
Like
a thing.
Like I said, they were synthesizing a drug from Rachni. Wasn't a fan.
Well, he says that's very disappointing. I suppose we're just going to have to make do with the leadership we currently have.
Well, for now at any rate.
Was there any other business that you wish to attend to? As I said, it's going to take some time for us to study this compound, see if there's something that we could formulate a cure with, and then we'll have to run tests ethically, of course, under my watch.
That's what I like to hear. Well, as long as everything gets distributed, if it works, and everyone gets a shot at it.
Well, I did put a clause in the contract about making a generic compound, which would be available to anyone who wished to use it.
Good.
So
Then I'm happy.
Proprietary if they like it, but hey, you've always got the option to manufacture a generic brand drug, or injection, or inhale spores, or something. Look, I don't know how it works. Okay, I just know that it did.
Good.
Something about airborne dissemination.
As long as it has a chance to work, and as long as everyone has a chance at it, I'm happy.
I assure you, Chief, she says, I will make sure that I will do everything in my power to ensure that this is cleanly done properly. May I ask one more thing, Elias? Does the contract say anything about the chain of command, myself versus Book Chen?
Well, the contract is between Friends of the Galaxy and the client, which in this case is Clan Thek. It does specifically say that all results are to be reported to the clan chief. Does that help?
I think that will help. So basically, if there's an argument between myself and Chen, I can have him contact.
Well, the
Ms.
client
Okara.
wishes precisely. In this case, Friends of the Galaxy are contracted to fulfill the goals of the client. I say, and I gesture towards Akara.
So shaman under the absence of the chief.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Very well. By the way, Chief, she says, I think someone here would love to see you over in room 24B.
Oh, really?
Yes. I think you two should have a talk. And he smiles.
All right. I'll make my way
Did you
over.
want company, or do you want to just run off?
I'll just stalk off.
Okay. I lean over towards Sepia. 10 credits says it's the original.
That'd be interesting.
You go over to 24B and you see it's a very lovely decorated room, and sitting at the room in a couch of some sort is a Krogan in traditional garb with the veil and everything. And the Krogan looks up at you and she meets you with the exact same eyes that you have. The Krogan immediately stands up, puts away the book that I think she was reading, and walks over to you to grab a hold, to cup your hand into both of hers without saying a word. So we meet again at last.
You must forgive me. I don't really remember last time, but I think it's good to see you again.
It's good, she says. The shaman, she filled me in on everything that's been going on since, well, I honestly wish to forget most of everything from back then.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Please, have a seat, she says as she motions towards the couch.
I go in and sit down.
So, she says, are you doing well?
Under the circumstances, yeah. I suppose I am.
Her eyes show a little bit of concern, and she asks you, whatever do you mean?
Well, let's just say that I somehow got dragged into another struggle with the Reapers, and now we're heading out to save all of the universes, I guess? It's a long story.
Out of character, you told the shaman about the Reapers, correct?
I think so, yeah.
You think so?
Hang
Okay.
on. I have no idea. I'm assuming so.
I
I
think
thought you did.
because I gave her an explanation of why I had to leave, I think.
Yeah, I have a
Sure.
feeling you did. So, Kel Gael says, the shaman mentioned something about that. I can only imagine how much of a weight this must be on your shoulders. I was hoping that when you have told the shaman to, well, wipe your memories, it was in an attempt to let you start over and not have to bear such burdens again.
Well, I guess this is my fate. I am the bearer of burdens, as it is, but I did get a new start. And here I am.
Do you regret what you did?
I don't know. That's the thing. I regret not having my memories, but I don't regret having a new start.
What about the memories you have now? Are they sufficient?
I think so. I'm still finding my way, but I am me and here I am. So
Yes, you are you. I just wanted to make sure that that was clear. You are you, and I am I. We're like sisters in a way, you know?
yeah, I would think so.
She gets up from the couch again, and she goes over to a drawer. She pulls out something from the drawer. It's I guess it's an electronic picture frame. And she sits down and says, "It took a long time for me to be able to look at this again without feeling sadness, but now," she says, "I've come to the point where I can look at this and feel at peace. I'm hoping that you can too, over time, if not now. If you would forgive me, but I think that it's best to address this sooner than later. I wanted to show you the person whose name you came from." And she holds up this really cute photograph of a little baby Krogan, a little girl, a little child.
Oh, that's so weird.
She says, "I named her after my great-grandmother," she says. The name Markara is a very special name within our family. She says it denotes strength, yet sensibility. I think it fits you well. And I'm sure it would have fit her well as well, had she given the chance to continue. But I think that chance you are living it for her. And for that, on behalf of her and myself, I'd like to say thank you.
Thank you for giving me the chance to be her, I guess. And I'm going to do my best.
And you honor me for being, well, me as well. You probably are doing far bigger things than I will in my lifetime, but that doesn't mean that the things that we do as a whole isn't important. All of us have something that we are called to do. You just happen to have the capacity and ability to do it for 3 people: yourself, myself, and the little one here.
As I said, I'm going to do my best with this chance. And hopefully I'll make sure that our entire race has a future.
I definitely think that you have been key in ensuring that, my dear. If you ever doubt who you are, know that you are the savior of us all.
That is quite the title to bear. But thank you.
She smiles. Even if you don't think of it that way, it doesn't matter because all the rest of us do.
I'm just doing my part.
Exactly. She sort of chuckles. That's one of the mottos of the FOTG as well, ironically.
That is quite unsettling, in a way.
They're not bad people. I think most of them have very good intentions. For the most part, I think they want to do things right. It's just some of the more extreme cases, they feel that it's necessary. Although,
Yeah.
if you think about it, many of the male Krogan tend to think that way as well.
Oh, yes. There's that.
It's all about the results, right? Action and results.
Yeah. As long as you don't forget the little things in between.
Continue on finding yourself, Arkara. We all of us have to find ourselves, and sometimes we may not necessarily we may continue finding ourselves for the rest of our lives, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Well, the galaxy changes and we change with it, I guess.
She nods. And hopefully along the way, you can find some happiness too, every now and then.
Yeah. I think I might.
She gives you a pat. Oh, she says, there's one more thing I wanted to show you. And she again goes over to the drawer and she pulls out another electronic frame. I thought you might appreciate this. And she's showing an image of the village. And it is a plot of land that has been plowed through. It's a garden. And she says, it's going to take some time, but we are hoping to memorialize these days over at this garden back at our home village. We thought that you might like that.
That is an excellent idea. And you're right. I do appreciate this.
Feel free to take a look at it in person if you'd like. I'm sure that the people there would love to see you.
Yeah, I will take the trip over there.
And if was there anything else before you leave?
No, not really.
She will lean towards you and give you a hug before you leave.
I'll hug her back.
And at the end of the hug, she'll give you a playful female headbutt. Playful female headbutt at the end.
I'll see you again.
She says, "I expect to."
Good.
And you leave. Is there anything else that's happening at the facility before you leave?
Other than me poking around the data, not much.
Okay.
Unless Sesepia, did you want to do anything?
Oh yeah, Sesepia, I don't know if you want
Would
to
like
do
to throw
anything.
Book Chen off, and if Book Chen's around, you can throw him off another balcony.
No.
I mean, if you want to interact with Book Chen, you can just ask where he is. But otherwise, you can just leave. I don't think he has any
Actually,
personal business with you.
I would actually ask where he was, just so I had that information.
They'll tell you that Book Chen is currently visiting the village, actually.
Well, I'm glad we managed to get this all sorted out before he came back then.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What do you guys do next?
I'm going to take
Car,
a
do
trip
you
to
want
the
to go to the
village.
All right.
Yes.
You guys will board the Endurance. Paddock will wave farewell as you guys leave, and you will take a very short trip to go to the clan village. When you arrive again, things in this area have changed dramatically for the better. The females no longer act like they're always nervous around everybody. The males seem to have calmed the heck down. You do see this beautiful garden that both the female and male Krogan are working to cultivate. Again, it doesn't look like much yet, but you probably can see the potential in it. The women are trying very hard to, I guess, make this. I guess in your history, in your history knowledge, you they're trying to what is the word? They're trying to mimic maybe a garden that was at a famous ancient Krogan temple. If you remember from Mass Effect 3, they found like these ancient Krogan civilizations, and maybe one of them was known for its beautiful garden, and I think they're trying to design it to design it to look like that. Yes, when you arrive and they see you come through the gates, both the men and female Krogan will give you a bow as if acknowledging you as their chief.
I'll just nod my head. Also, I'll make sure that Otto is with me for this.
Oh, sure, yes. Otto will ask you, curiously, should I dress in my combat armor or my casual clothing?
Let's go with casual. I think things have changed.
Okay. Otto will be in his casual wear. And when you arrive, again, you'll see it. Otto will actually be very interested in going towards the garden. You probably think that he's trying to see if there's anything edible that they're trying to grow there.
Of course he is.
Of course he is.
I'm surprised he's not planting edible plants himself.
And I guess you can kind of see a lot of the Krogan females carrying infant Krogan children. There's a few infant Krogan children that's, playing along in the grounds. It's a lot happier here.
We have a Dylan.
Overall. We have a Dylan. And if Sync wants to join in with this excursion, he can. We'll see. Talia will gasp when she sees the Krogan babies. Just, oh, mommy, that's so cute. She says, are those baby Krogan?
Yes, they are.
I've never seen baby Krogan before.
Yeah. Oh.
She there's a one baby Krogan that's crying, and the mother is trying to trying to figure out what's wrong with it, and Tali immediately says, "Hungry."
Hungry? Oh.
You can do much good with that talent, Talia.
hmm Remember that you can do so much good with what you have.
She says, "Mommy, when I grow up, can I be a babysitter?"
You can be whatever you want to be.
She says, "I take very good care of my dollies."
Whatever you want to be. The universe is your oyster.
She will then, I guess, look towards some of the Krogan children that are playing. The Krogan she then points to them and says, "Mommy, can I go and play?"
Of course. Definitely.
Talia will go over there and approach the Krogan children. The Krogan children look towards her, and they seem a little taken aback that this random Taurian child suddenly is showing up and asking if she could play with them. And the Krogan children hesitantly said, "Okay," and they start playing. Sink, are you doing anything when you first arrive at the village?
I think he'd just kind of be in the background, kind of watching everybody kind of enjoy themselves, I guess. Is Tristy down there?
She can be. I didn't know if you wanted her to come with you too.
That's okay. I'll just kind of be in the background, kind of just enjoying, I guess, the view of everybody being like happy.
I think she'll probably want to check it out personally, but we'll
Yeah,
say
okay,
that
we'll say that she's there.
we'll say Tristy will be there anyway. So she will also say as she's looking at the Krogan kids. Ooh, Sisepia, are you sure you want Talia playing with the Krogan children?
I think it's good. She shouldn't be kind of restrained from what life's out there.
They seem to be, what they're playing seems to be kind of violent, she says. And you're looking at the Krogan children. They're kind of roughhousing with each other, like butting heads and roughhousing. And one of the Krogan looks like they're about to like roughhouse with Talia, and Talia kind of pulls up her hand, and the Krogan gets thrown back off of his feet.
Nah, I think she's good out there.
And as soon as the Krogan gets thrown back off his feet, two of the other Krogan look very impressed, and then they run over to her and they're like, "Oh, that was so awesome!
Do it again! Do it again!
Do it again! Do it again!"
Yeah, I think
You better be careful, Sisepia, she says. One of these days, all the boys are gonna be like huddling all around her, and you won't be able to beat them off with a stick.
I can certainly try.
I think Talia should be able to beat them off with her own sticks.
Meridi looks around, and she says, "Oh, Krogan, no, we've got to do something with your clothes here." She says, "There's just the lack of colors." She says.
Really?
Arkara,
Want to design a line for us then?
She says, "Arkara, we can't have you be the first fertile, be the first cured Krogan race and look like this. You need to look the part." She says, "I'll tell you what, I am going to see if I can come up with just my own line of maternity fashion."
As long as you make sure we can move in them, I'm happy.
She takes out her sketch hollow and she starts sketching.
Meridia, you might want to make sure that, you allow for the fact that Krogan litters can number in the hundreds.
Hmm.
Anyway, you guys are having fun, and what do you do? What else do you guys do besides just hanging around?
I
Watching Talia
didn't
beat
have
up
a
all the boy
yeah.
Krogan.
I didn't actually have any plans, so yeah.
Okay.
This was
I'll
for-
also, seeing as Otto was interested in the garden, I'll send him that way and tell him that I'll meet you after I've talked to the shaman.
He says, thankfully, thankfully, I definitely will see to it that they have enough of the proper nutrients for the plants. Will you be all right talking with them?
Yeah, I think so.
He will smile, and he will give you a. He will give you a. I think it won't be a. It won't be a kiss on the cheek. That's just not what he would do. But I think what he would do is he would touch his forehead against yours, and that's it. He would touch his forehead against yours. It's sort of like a
Yeah.
close but not too close kind of thing. And then he will. I guess that's his form of hugs.
Yeah, that would make sense. And I'll go look for the shaman.
We should probably actually. I'll mention to Okara that we should probably find Chen and deliver him a copy of the signed contract between yourself and Paddock. He might not be happy, but let's deal with that now rather than later.
Well, you got a point. Let's get it over with. Let's find him.
Do you think it'd be okay with me being around? I practically almost killed the guy.
I think it would be better if you were around.
Alright.
Good backdrop, I would say.
Alright.
When you guys go over, so it's Arkara and Sisepia going to the chief, to the shaman?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll go along with them.
And Elias. Okay. You guys are going to go over to the shaman. Meanwhile, Trissy and Sink are going to be watching, I guess, Talia. And I guess Trissy is going to walk over to one of the mothers. And she starts chatting with the Krogan female. And I think the Krogan female's not used to talking to humans. But so the Krogan female is a little shy at first, but after a minute or two, she starts to open up. Trissy has this natural charm, I think, that gets people to. She has a very disarming personality, and she's able to gain the female Krogan's trust very quickly. And eventually, she asks, "Do you mind if I could?" And the female Krogan says, "Sure," and she hands her the little baby, and Trissy holds it into her arms, and she sort of coddles it, and she says, "Hey there, little one, how are you? You're gonna grow up big and strong in a far better universe than what was here before," she says, talking to it. What is Sink doing while she's looking at the child, while she's playing with the child?
I think while she's playing with the child, he's kind of watching Trissy do this, and he's kind of just thinking about, I guess, how he always wanted to have kids, honestly, because this is an image he's always wanted to, I guess, see. I mean, even though it's not technically a human kid, it's still kind of the same idea, I guess.
Okay. She Trissy looks up and she sees you looking at her, and she gives you a bright smile, and then she walks towards your direction, and she says, "Hey."
Hey there. You've got experience handling children?
Well, I did some babysitting when I was a lot younger. We had a couple of births while during my time at the vault, but other than that, not that much, I guess. Oh, Careful there, she says as she takes a cloth that the baby was with and like wipes off some of the drool that the baby had spit up. And she looks towards you and says, "Al, do you want to hold it?"
Actually, I'd love to. Yeah, that'd be great. And so I go to take the baby.
She carefully hands you the child and she says, "Just make sure you support the head. There you go," she says.
Right. I imagine Sink kind of being awkward with it at first. I don't know how many babies he's held before, so he's kind of like.
Yeah, he's a little awkward. So
Being-
Trissy will guide your hands and your arms around to secure the child.
I was going to say he probably hasn't done this since medical school.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
probably hasn't done this. The baby looks up towards you and he gives you a small crooked smile, and he gives this makes this gurgling kind of noise. And Trish says, I think you have a new fan, Mr. Finston," she says.
I think so too. Kind of rock him up and down a little bit.
She asks the Krogan, "Is it a boy or a girl?" The woman says, "It's a girl." "Ah, of course it is," Trissy says. That makes a lot of sense. While this is happening, again, Arkara is going to find the shaman. The shaman is at the chief's throne, I guess. And she actually is already conversing with Book Chen.
Thought that might
Probably
be happening.
makes a lot of sense. Why else would he be here than to speak with the chief? They're having a conversation, and the shaman sees you and the rest of the group, and she waves you all in to meet them. Book Chen turns towards your direction and says, "Ah, so the chief has returned.
Indeed, I have.
I trust you came bearing good news about the arrangement we were talking about," Mr. Chen says.
I would say it's good news for us, yes?
Chen, out of character, I see what you did there. Chen says, with a surprise in his voice, "Really? Well, that is wonderful news. I didn't expect to find you back here with good news so quickly. Well, this is good. This is very good." The shaman says, "Have you already given the sample to Mr. Wicks, Arkara?"
Yes. We came from the facility just now.
"I trust that you will," the shaman tells Book Chen, "I trust that you will allow Paddock Wicks to use his best judgment on how to move forward, Mr. Chen," the shaman says. "As far as treating the Krogan here, absolutely. Paddock Wicks can have full reign and control over that. There just might be a few administrative things that we need to discuss with him."
Oh, I think we took care of most of those, I say, and I pass him a copy of the new contract.
"What is this?"
Contract?
He takes the contract, he puts it into his Omni tool. You've updated it, I see.
Updated and already signed by Paddock Wicks, yes.
I see. He's sort of doing a diff to see what the differences are. And he looks through it and says, "Well, then I suppose my business here is done."
I would think so, yes.
The Book Chen politely gives a bow to the shaman, and he leaves, but with a very begrudging air about him.
Oh, we saw your daughter. She was doing quite well.
He stops. And he turns towards you. What did you say?
I bring up a hollow of Crystal Chen in the games. She was doing quite well.
He goes over to the hollow. And he's got this look of, his face turns pale. And he's just watching this. And he looks like he's in total disbelief when he's watching this happening.
I know it's not the same thing, but she's still out there.
He swallows silently, and he looks towards your direction. And instead of having a very begrudging look on his face, he has one of kind of sadness, kind of. It's hard. He has a very emotional look on his face. He's holding back. It looks like he's holding back on something painful. But he looks right into your eyes, Elias, and he gives you a nod as if saying thank you without actually saying thank you. He then says, "May I have a copy of this?"
Sure. I transfer him a copy.
When the copy is finished, he again gives you the same nod as if saying thank you. And then he turns around and he leaves.
That was a surprisingly nice gesture, Elias.
Well, maybe he won't be such a hard ass when he realizes that she's still there somewhere.
Good point.
I think it was a wise decision, Mr. Elias, the shaman says.
Well, Friends of the Galaxy aren't exactly what I'd call competent in all areas. I thought it best to safeguard your interests.
We need to make as many friends as we can, and make as little enemies as possible, the shaman says.
That too.
Arkara, the shaman, gets up from the throne and actually walks up to you properly, and she basically sheds the, I guess,
Veil?
authoritative, no, not the veil, but she sheds the authoritative air that she had to give herself while dealing with Mr. Bookchen. She relaxes a little bit. She goes up to Arkara and gives her a hug.
I hug her tightly. I like what you've done with the place.
We're working very hard. Several of the Krogan were a little hesitant at first, but it'll take time, but I think we're moving forward, not backward.
Yeah, I would say you are.
Did you see the garden?
Only from afar. I'm planning on going there after I've talked to you.
I was hoping you'd like it. We were thinking about what we would put at the center. Some people said that they wished to put an image of their chief up. I wasn't sure if that would be something you would actually appreciate. Other people suggested an image of myself. I myself didn't think that was appropriate. What do you think we should put at the center of the garden? You don't have to decide now. You can think about it later, but we feel like we should put something there as a memorial, something that speaks of our people and the future of our people and what's to come. Something that symbolizes that.
How about a fountain? To symbolize the life that returns to the earth.
I think a fountain would be lovely. We'll have to find a designer of some sort. Do you know anyone particularly artsy or good at designs?
I might have an idea, yes.
Splendid. If you have any contact information, I would love to get a hold of him or her.
Yeah, I'll talk to her about it. I think she would be delighted.
Wonderful, child, wonderful. Are you going to stay long? Perhaps you can join us for dinner.
I think we can stay that long.
She says, any of your members of the crew are of course welcome. Again, we don't have very much. Our food here is probably not as fancy as some of the places that I'm sure you're accustomed to, but it's filling.
I think I can possibly help a little bit with that. I have a friend who likes cooking, and I think he could help you spice things up.
Cooking. That would be wonderful, she says. We were thinking of possibly at some point when we have the time to open up some sort of a tavern here.
I think that sounds like a wonderful idea.
And thus the beginning of McOtto's chain begins. McOtto.
From humble beginnings.
Yes. The
Otto's
chain's
Garden.
so great.
Otto's
Yeah,
Garden.
Otto's Garden. I
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
Yes.
Amazing.
A garden that grows beyond galaxies.
Ah.
Yes. The chain that grows beyond galaxies. Okay.
Amazing.